Hello everybody, here I am Patanjali sir going to teach you the first part of your subject, means the first part of political science, the political theory. Today I will discuss about liberty as well as freedom. Let me define liberty and freedom first. See, everyone we are social animal. Aristotle said human beings as the greatest social animal. But Brutus, greatest social animal in the sense that we are living unitedly. But to live unitedly, we are requiring some rules and regulations and conditions. That condition is known as freedom as well as liberty. When we are going to discuss about liberty and freedom, we have to put stress first on its definition. What is freedom? Freedom is nothing but the condition of living. What is condition of living? Think about a small plant. When you are going to sowing the seeds of plants, first the baby plant is coming out of the seed, and to protect and to make the tree to survive completely, we have to put some conditions for them. What are all these? These are air, light, fertilizer or food, artificial or natural, water, whatever else. And gradually we will see that the tree is growing every day and ultimately reaching a height. That is known as the full development of the plant. Like the plant, every human being is requiring some condition for his or her growth and success, and that is known as freedom. But the question might be there, so how we can define, how we can differentiate liberty from freedom? It is just like a body politic. We have heads, we have hands, we have eyes, we have ears, everything. We have limbs, we have arms. Like this, the total individual development process has different part, and that part or that parts are known as freedom and liberty. Liberty and freedom are not unlimited. Why? Because if I am going to enjoy unlimited liberty or freedom, that might be creating an anarchy in the society. Then what will be happened? Everyone, whatever they will like, they will do. There is no restrictions. So for that reason, liberty and freedoms are not totally unlimited. They are limited in rational way. So for that reason, we are going to get some studies of constraints on liberty and freedom. I could remember a very famous phrase or statement of the Greek philosopher Aristotle. He did say that man is born free, but everywhere he is under chain. You see, when we are going to take birth on the lap of our mother, we are crying. When we are dying, we are also crying. Why these cries? Only because we are under the natural circumstances, natural factors, natural conditions. If we live, if we take birth, we have to die. If we take birth, we have to fulfill some primary conditions like food, shelter and clothing, education, job, better social development, ambience, environment, everything. These are all the conditions which are going to be provided by freedom as well as liberty. Suppose I am living in a society where is complete anarchy. I cannot move out of my home. I cannot go to shop. I cannot go to bank. I cannot go to school, college, university. Whenever I am going to out of my home or house, I am going to be confronted by the lot of negative factors. So that is not freedom. That is not liberty. What is liberty or freedom? The absence of any kind of constraints that I did mention over here. But the constraints are not withering away completely. Why? Because there should be some constraints, otherwise liberty and freedom might be dangerous. Suppose right to freedom of speech. in our fundamental rights in the Constitution of India. Not only in India, in America, in France, in Britain, everywhere, all over the world, people are going to enjoy some fundamental rights and duties. In Indian Constitution, there are 7 fundamental rights, out of which the most important is freedom of expression. What is freedom of expression? What I do believe personally, what I do feel positively that I could express, but it should not that I can say anything else about anyone against the state, against the nationality, against my fellow people, against the nationalist people, everything I cannot say. Why? Because if I am going to say, I am going to disobey the national laws and constitution. So there needs some constraint. That what I can say, how much I can go, but on the other hand, I cannot express that kind of constraint which will always underline me. You should not do this, you should not do this, you should not go there, you should not write it, you should not speak like this, you should not do this. Only not. No, that is not also freedom. We will keep constraint in an equal proportion in the case of enjoyment of liberty and freedom. That is why John Stuart Mill in his Harm Principle did say very clearly, we have 2 kinds of activities: self-regarding activity and other regarding activities. Self-regarding activity is that kind of activity which is going to touch myself, means my environment, my house, my people, my home, my all individual things. But other regarding activities, when I am going to school, I am going to college, I am going to university, I am going to office, I am going to public places, there my behavior, my activities. So self-regarding activities ultimately the guides of other regarding activities. If I am going to live an unruly life, so naturally that will be affecting society. I will do the same thing out of the house, so ultimately society will be hampered. But what I have to do? I have to keep a balance. Self-regarding actions, other regarding actions. So there will be a bridge between self-regarding and other regarding actions, so that we could survive nicely and social life will be highly beneficial for us. That is the reason John Stuart Mill said that in his Harm Principle that self-regarding actions and other regarding actions should be logical. But ultimately, out of all this discussion, that what is political theory, under this liberty and freedom, definition of liberty and freedom, liberty plus freedom and the individual aspect, constraint, and J. Mill's Harm Principle, we have to make a conclusion. What is that? The sovereignty. SOVEREIGNTY. Sovereignty means what? Ultimate freedom, indivisible freedom, ultimate rigid freedom that is not transferable. That is only possible when liberty and freedom are going to be correlated, and ultimately it will be proliferated as freedom, a huge banyan tree from a small seed, or the swing seeds of liberty and freedom. Sovereignty is the ultimate goal. See, Indian Constitution, when it did come in action on 26 January 1950, our founding fathers did say, we the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic state. What is sovereignty? What is sovereign? That no one can interfere in the internal and external affairs of India. India is sovereign, India is free, India is freedom. India has enormous, endless liberty. That is sovereignty that we have to achieve. So for that reason, we will come from 2 avenues, come by 2 avenues, liberty and freedom, that will be ultimately merged in sovereignty. Ultimately, from all the discussions, we will go to reach 2 points, negative and positive aspects of liberty or freedom. What is negative aspects and positive aspects? I can remember a very fantastic line from Grammar of Politics, Harold Gillespie's very famous political book, Grammar of Politics. What he did say over there: if I have the right to walk in the road smoothly, then it is others' duty to clear my way. But if it is not negative, why? I am walking in the road, somebody is going to push me from the behind. So what is this? He or she is enjoying his negative liberty and damage my positive liberty. It is unhealthy conditions. It is not equal condition. So it is not legal. Negative liberty cannot be a liberty. But positive liberty is always liberty, which ultimately gives the birth of freedom and a complete spectrum freedom that is known as sovereignty. So these are the discussions of our today's first class regarding political theory, regarding liberty and freedom. What we did learn? We did learn definition. We did learn liberty and freedom and individual. We did learn constraints of freedom and liberty. We did learn sovereignty. We did learn John Stuart Mill's harm principles and along with negative and positive aspects. Please read your NCERT books. I think you can correlate me over there. And if you still have any doubt and question in your mind, please ask me in my next class. Till then, goodbye. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you very much.